Hello people, I am Sky Demolisher and welcome to episode 1 of Warhammer 40,000 Space Marine on the Xbox 360. Now this is a third person game. As you would have heard from the disclaimer that played before this, there is gore, there is violence, there is mature content. Please don't watch it if those are things that you don't enjoy. And without further ado, we'll get into it.
Captain Titus, the Orcs have massacred the Forge World's forces. And they have taken the planetary defense weapons.
Clever of the damned Orcs. Keeps us off their backs while they loot the Titan war machines.
Brace for evasive maneuvers.
Pilot, report!
Starboard engine is dead, Sergeant. We are losing altitude.
Get the ship to safety. We find another way down.
Aye, Captain. Thunderhawk Lancer Jove returning to launch bay.
This is your plan.
We need to get to the surface to take out the gun battery. Or do you want to go home already, Sergeant?
Not before having a word or two with the Orcs.
Is that wise, Captain? The Codex Astartes does not support this action.
Try to keep up.
And so begins our first episode. and me whiffing a lot against some grots. Now, if you ever played Space Crusade like I did as a child, these were called Gretchens back then, and now they're called grots. So, as warned in the disclaimer, obviously the game is very violent. As you can see, I mean, I'm already covered in blood. The other side of this, of course, is that there are no health packs or anything like that. The only way to get health back in this game is via executions. As it is currently, informing us. Your health is low, press Y to stun, and then B to execute. In many ways I found that quite annoying in the game, but it's the Warhammer 40,000 universe. It's grimdark. It's not made to be easy.
Get off my ship, Space Marine! You're gonna die!
And there's no different view mode in this. There was no first person, it's all third person. Although you do have control of the camera. I don't need health at the moment, so stunning them isn't as important. There is a bit of like a shield mechanic in this too. Not much of one though. You'd think he'd be freaking out, wouldn't you? And there is your introduction to Space Marine.
Captain Titus, come in. Damned orcs shot me off course. I've had no word from Leandros, but I'm picking up Vox chatter from Imperial Guard forces.
So, if you pause the game, it will help you understand, what's going on, what your missions are. Underneath that, you'll see there's a 48 servo skulls collected. They were one of the collection things in this game. I think there are two. There are the servo skulls, and then there are the audio logs. Now, I already have them. So, actually, I don't think I have all of both of them. I'm probably not going to find the spare ones in these. So, if you ever play it yourself, you'll have the fun of finding where all of those servo skulls and audio logs are. But we'll get back into it.
It's on the ground.
I scarcely thought anyone would be left alive, much less still fighting.
Heading towards the front lines now.
I will meet you there.
Now, while the game itself has you playing as a Ultramarine, the multiplayer, although I'm not sure it's still running, it probably isn't at this point, the multiplayer allowed you to play as either a Chaos Marine or a Space Marine, and you had the option of customizing. So there were a certain number of chapters available, and then you had your own custom ones. So I won't actually I was going to say I won't show you what my custom ones were, just while I think about it. I'm pretty sure back here was where one of the original servo skulls was found, if you're ever looking for it. I'm pretty sure that's where the first one is. If you want to see what my custom chapters were, just leave a comment down below. I'm more than happy to upload a video just showing you what they were. Now, throughout the game, you'll come across these. They're like drop pods with spare weapons, and that tells you how to use it. Now, if I hold it, you'll be able to see a bit better there. So there is a bolt pistol. The bolt pistol has unlimited ammo, and the bolter does have limited ammunition. I believe at a later point you will be able to use plasma pistols. They, I am pretty sure, do also have unlimited ammo, but they are prone to overheating, which in the tabletop game was called Gets Hot. So indeed, they get hot. And hopefully you picked it up in that intro thing. If you're wondering what's actually going on, the orcs have invaded Forge World Gaia. A liberation fleet is en route. However, they will not arrive within an acceptable amount of time. So a small squad of Ultramarines has been forwarded to try to, I wouldn't say retake the planet, but to help defend it until the Liberation Forces arrive, and to try to keep the orcs away from the Titans. Sorry, language. Bugger. I mean, I did say that there was mature content in this, so I guess it's perfectly fine if I, swear from time to time. I mean, not that I'm going to try to make a habit out of it. At the moment, Titus just has a combat knife. That will be upgraded, and I should have pointed out before, these are your ammo boxes. So, if I remember right, they do reload ammunition for all weapons and grenades.
Leandros. Are you wounded?
The Codex Astartes warns against using jump packs to leap blindly into enemy fire, and for good reason.
Your days as a novice are behind you. Why do you still interpret the Codex so narrowly?
I look to its rules for guidance.
We all do. But there are also benefits to thinking for yourself, Leandros.
Indeed. So we'll just reload.
Enemy sighted.
Obviously, we play this entire game as Captain Titus. There is also Leandros, who is I suppose you would say, a newly anointed Space Marine. I'll let you learn about him throughout the game, because we do learn about him throughout the game. There's also another.
Sedona's picked up local Imperial Guard.
There is another one. We saw him before. I've forgotten his name. If you've never played Warhammer 40,000, you're not familiar with the world.
Keep firing! Keep firing!
The game will probably explain little snippets of the lore, but not a lot. You will find that certain, if you play it, certain animations won't play if you're like too close to a wall or something. But as I was going to say, if you're not familiar with the lore, it will probably fill in little bits. I am by no means an expert on this stuff, but what they mentioned before, the Codex Astartes, is basically the doctrine that was created to, I don't know, like set out how Space Marine legions work. It's written by the Primarch of the Ultramarines. So the Primarch is the creator of this particular chapter. That's probably the best way of explaining it. I believe his name is Robute Guilliman.
My lord, you have saved us.
Rise, guardsmen. You saved yourselves. We thought you dead.
We would be, my lord, if not for the lieutenant.
Where will we find this lieutenant?
At the front lines. Follow the trench network to the lieutenant's command bunker.
Carry on, guardsmen. We rendezvous with Sedonas, then we find this lieutenant. We need updated intel on the gun battery.
Through here, my lords. Head out the upper level and continue
Sedonas, that was his name.
Remarkable. A few hundred against 1 million orcs, and they fight on.
So, perhaps, well, since it's just saved, I'll just I'll flick it here, just so I'll pause it so I can say what I'm going to say. I pause it so I can say what I'm going to say, and then completely forget what I'm going to say. Oh, right. If you haven't picked it up, Space Marines are basically like super soldiers. Think of them as like the Spartans from Halo. Maybe kind of like Gears and Gears of War, in so much that they're trained to go into war, but Gears are like basically humans, and Space Marines, like the Spartans, are super soldiers. They're basically like superhuman. They're a lot larger. They're about 8 foot tall. So the other guys that we just saw before, they're called Imperial Guard. I'll try to bring up little bits and pieces as we go along, but like I said, I'm not an expert on this, and we've just gone around the 20-minute mark. So I will end this episode here. I hope that you've enjoyed it, and I hope to see you for future episodes. But until then, take care of yourselves. Bye.